Hey, Michelle, what's going on? Rob and Brian for RHAP. Michelle, game so close to making it to the final here. How are you doing to go out this late in the game?
Uh, you know, I I was so emotionally checked out by the time that I went home. I was kind of over it. I once it falls apart, it's hard to put yourself back together and get back in the game. And emotionally, I was just like, yeah, I was not able to regroup at that point.
So obviously, you make the big decision last week, kind of turning on the Desi and Michaela crew, and then Desi comes into power this week. Did you think there was any chance they would still take the shot at Tori, given how close you were to the final, how much of a threat she was? Was there any pitch you could made to kind of get yourself off the hook there and really direct it back to Tori?
No, and I didn't even try, to be honest with you. As soon as I saw Chris and Desi won, I was like, I'm not even gonna make a pitch to make it anybody other than myself. I dug my grave and I'm gonna lie in it sort of situation. Um, at that point, like I don't even, yeah, I knew it was gonna go down the way it went down. It was no point fighting it.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, what's going on with all this drama with the survivors? Do I need to have like a family meeting with all of our survivors and get everybody back on the same page?
Well, that's what I was trying to do this season. Like there was fractions from the survivor group from the jump. Like they did not, Desi, Chanel, Michaela did not trust Chris,
Hmm.
Sebastian, or I think they trusted Sebastian actually, but they just didn't think he was playing because he was kind of doing his own thing. And Cassidy the whole time, and vice versa. So there was always kind of this divide between the two factions. I kind of had one foot on one side and one foot on the other, kind of straddling the line and straddling the line of the bets. So I was kind of just like trying to do it all.
I don't like to hear this, Michelle. We're better than this. What are we, Big Brother?
I know. I think we saw, even though there was a lot of dysfunction going on, when we needed to, we pulled together and we were a seven strong unit of votes. And I think we tried to put a band-aid on a bullet hole for as long as we could, but eventually we were just going to bleed out. It was
Hmm.
inevitable. Yeah, it was inevitable.
I want to go all the way back to like before you even step into this house, you have Wes telling John A, look out for Michelle. You can't trust Michelle. Have you talked to Wes and be like, what the heck? Like, what was that all about?
Yeah, I don't know. So it's really wild because John A has apologized to me over and over and over about this. And it appears that there was some sort of miscommunication between the two of them. Wes doubles down and says he didn't say it. John A says that it was a misinterpretation of something that he did say. Who the hell knows what to believe? I am friends with Wes's wife in real life. So I was shocked to hear that.
She's a listener. Shout out to Wes's wife.
What's that?
She's a listener.
She is. Yeah, I know. She loves Survivor, dude. She loves Survivor. We love Amanda. She's the best. And congrats on the new baby,
Yep.
Lucy. Yeah, so I was shocked to hear that. And I had just went out for like a boozy night at Blazing Saddles in New York with John A and her husband. So I was like, we went out to a gay bar and got up on the bar together. Girl, how are you gonna vote me day one? So yeah, it was a bit confusing, but I got my lick back.
Okay. Could you talk a little bit about going back to the last week and ultimately the play to get everybody going after Tori, but then not to go in the same direction?
So I felt like I was always gonna kind of go Chris, and I felt that the girls, so basically the point of the game that we were at, it was like if last vote was going to be a girls vote, then this week would have been a guys vote and vice versa. So that's why it was such a pivotal decision to make it a girls day or a guys day, because whatever decision was made this day is going to affect the next. So like it was, I was also had the boys in my ear very loudly being like, it needs to be a guys day. And if you make it a guys day now, all of us, with the exception of Chris or Tyler, whoever was going to come back from that, we're going to protect you. And Tori and Cassidy were on the same boat. So like hedging my bets, it felt like that was definitely the more logical way to go. If any, Josh, Bessie, Bananas, any of those guys had won this daily, I would have been fine. It just so happens that the two people who I betrayed ultimately were the two people who won. Probably not the best, but
Not
poetic
ideal.
karma. But I don't regret that I voted for Chris personally. He had been pitching my name, 2-3 episodes ago in such a disastrous way that I felt betrayed by him already. Where I went wrong was that I didn't let Chanel and Desi know that I was voting for Chris. And I think that if I was just transparent with them and I said, hey, I'm voting for Chris, I think that they would have done that as well. So I don't regret the decision I made. I regret the way I went about that decision.
You were pretty open again, trying to, one of the things you wanted to accomplish this season was kind of reproving yourself after your Survivor when people still not giving you the credit that you like aptly deserved. And that's something similar we saw with Chris coming into the season as well, him talking about like, people don't think he deserved, quote unquote, his win. Is that something you guys talked about in the house? Like how you kind of overcome that, how you deal with like the fan perception of you after your wins? Is that something you were able to connect on at all?
I think I believe Chris won after me. A lot of the times I find myself in the Survivor community as somebody people go to after they've won and they go through a similar experience. A lot of times I already had a relationship with Chris prior to this season because we had a very similar story and because we faced a lot of the same battles. Like I've been with him and his wife, we've had game night, we talked through that sort of stuff outside of this. So yes, we have connected over that, which is why when he pitched my name, it was so hurtful prior. And I think that that's kind of the mess that, it all crumbled because everything's a little bit more personal when things that people, each other outside of the game. I think we have a similar story, but for me, it's not just Survivor. It's not just like the perception of whether or not I deserve Survivor. It's like, now I've come on the challenge 3 times. I've lost 3 times. It's like, I have this stigma of like, I lost coming in third on Survivor Winners at War. So I just feel like I have things to prove in the challenge world and the Survivor world. And this is like a culmination of both of those things.
Yeah, but you're so beloved, Michele, that there's just such a popular figure. So like, I know that like, I know it like drives you and it fuels you, but there's so many people that just, love you and don't want to hear you talk about yourself in those ways because that they just think that you're just somebody who is so relatable. I
am something. I guess relatable would be, I don't know. The thing that like makes me relatable is the thing that also, it's like, the good about me is what makes the difficult things about. I don't know. I don't know. My Achilles heel.
Yeah.
So you, Josh, and Fessy were all kind of in this weird limbo, I guess, of like you were obviously started CBS people, but you've also established yourself as challenge people. Did that really bring you all together to really work closely together? Because you kind of both had those like, different pots that you could work on, but also bond you 3 specifically together?
To be honest with you, I think that it was probably not until this episode that you hear Fessy say, like, Josh is my number 1 guy, Michelle's my number 1 girl. But we navigated the game very much like they were my priority. Like before, it's weird because a lot of this, what I'm talking about is playing the middle of like, I'm sort of with the survivors and I'm sort of with the vets. But like for me, whenever anybody was like, who's your number 1 person? I'd be like, it's Fessy. Like it was Fessy and Josh always were my number 1s, and they're not even vets or survivor, they're big brother sort of. So it was like, I think the people in the middle definitely made a choice to stick together. I knew that they were going to protect their big brother. I was always going to protect the survivors, and we were also all going to try to protect the vets too. So we bounce ideas off of each other a lot throughout the game.
Yeah. Michele, I know you got to run. You got to do a lot of interviews today, but I'm telling you, get the last laugh on these other women that throw you into the challenge. Get the Michele Down t-shirt out there today, and the orders are going to be rolling in, okay?
It's funny. Right before this, I had messaged Jay because he has like a line of merch or whatever. And I was like, where do you get your beanies? Because I think that we need to do a line of like Michele Down beanies, like come on, it has to happen. He's like, I make them all myself. I'm like, well, surely I'm not doing that. I mean, no, I'm
Yeah.
gonna outsource this to somebody. So
Yeah, do it. Do it. Get it up by the end of the day.
What do I fucking look like? End of day.
Look,
You know what?
look,
I'll try.
yeah. Look, people are gonna reach out to you on Twitter and help you with that.
Maybe I'll have Jay make them, give him a cut, and then we can get this thing rolling.
Yeah, I'm sure look, every one of these Survivor 45 players has a merch store. They can help you out.
Maybe I'll ask Bananas. I don't know. I'll try to make it happen. Listen,
right.
I'm telling you, there's definitely going to be more merch. I already have merch in the works for 39 because there's a few things that definitely gained traction on 39.
Okay.
That will require some merch.
All right, Michele, I know you got to run, but all the best and everything outside the challenge, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay.